Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's special live webinar. Hi, good evening, Krishan Palji. Thank you for joining today. Hi, good evening. Welcome, Mr. Ravindra, Mr. Suresh. Thank you for joining today. So today's webinar is little different from the others that we usually organize on every Saturday because we have one of our own patient Deepak ji with us over here who has joined us and will be sharing his journey with us. Like throughout the program, what benefited him, how was his journey with the nutritionist and the wellness coach. He'll be sharing his whole experience and the lifestyle management that he learned during this program. So let's give everyone a moment to join and then we'll start with the webinar. Also to inform you, like we will be taking all the questions at the end of the webinar. So don't forget to ask your queries or any kind of questions that you have regarding nutrition, or if you want to ask anything related to Deepak Ji's experience. Drop your questions in the chat box or Q&A session and definitely we'll answer that at the end of the session. Hi, Arga. Good evening. Thank you for joining today. We are so glad a lot of you are joining and we'll make sure that the experience that Deepak ji had during the whole program will benefit you as well. At any point you have any query or you want to ask any question, please drop in the chat section. We'll wait for 1 more minute and then we'll start with the live webinar. Hi, good evening. Thank you for joining. So good to see a lot of you have joined in here today. Hi, good evening, Celia. Thank you for joining. Just give us some 1 minute more and we'll start with the webinar. So yeah, I think it's time to start today's session. Let's get started today's webinar, which is like a very special webinar because we'll be hearing firsthand from Deepak ji, who's based in Mumbai and works as a software professional. With over 24 years of experience in his field, he has led teams, managed projects, and currently is handling administration work. So I can say his passion for technology has led him to a variety of achievement over the years. So welcome, Deepak ji. We are so glad to have you with us today.
Thank you, Kirti, and I'm glad and privileged as well and honored to be part of this webinar. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So let's jump right into it, Deepak ji. Let's start with your journey, like what all you have learned throughout this program. Okay, so can you tell us like how you first learned about Daily Room program and what gave you that confidence to join this program?
Okay, so I have one of my cousin who is a medical practitioner. He's a MD in medicine. He based out of Mumbai, and I have been discussing my problems with him whenever I meet him in any of the events or any gatherings. And I happened to ask him, is there any treatment for IBS basically? So
Yeah.
the first statement he made is that, hey Deepak, there is no treatment as such, but I can recommend you something where you can actually go through that program and try to see if that benefits you very well. So I had he happened to had some of his colleagues, and his colleague recommended a daily bloom. So I actually browsed through the internet, tried to figure out what is daily bloom all about, and then I reached out to daily bloom and tried to understand the program and see what exactly it is all about. So that was my first interaction with the daily bloom. Prior to that, I think I had some idea of IBS, and when my IBS got detected, my doctor has recommended something at that point in time, which I did not go through at that point in time. So,
Okay.
and that suddenly strike a chord to me. Okay, this is what he was telling me at that point in time, and I should have done that point in time. So better late, never late. Then let me go and try to get this journey started. So that's how I enrolled into this program.
That's great. That's great. So you were keen to know about your health and, of course, to manage your symptoms, and that took you obviously towards this program. So now that you have completed your journey with us, can you share the difference that you have noticed in symptoms? Let's compare to the symptoms that you were facing before and now. Can you compare between those symptoms?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Kirti. Uh, if I compare the symptoms prior to joining this program, I had a lot of problems before this program. Especially, I mean, traveling was a big problem for me. I was not able to identify what was triggering the trigger points for me, what exactly was happening with my body. So there were these so many things that factors were actually impacting my lifestyle as well eventually. As soon as I started the journey of Daily Bloom program, uh, the first and the foremost thing that I learned was what I have to eat, when I have to eat, and how much I have to eat. So these were the three pillars which I learned as a part of this program basically, and that helped a lot for me as a part of this program itself. So that's how it all began. So there is a vast difference in what I was doing and what I am doing right now.
Okay. So can you tell us, like all of us who have joined in here, because like as a person who suffers from IBS, of course we find out, we research about various things and the food items, how we can manage our symptoms. So can you tell us the difference between the research that you did? Okay, when you were looking forward like to manage your symptoms, maybe through internet or your doctor, and the difference between the nutritionist, like your Pritha nutritionist, who has suggested the changes, or maybe the changes in diet routine, specifically talking about food items. So how was it different and how was it helpful for you then?
Okay, so I think the first and foremost thing is that when I came to know about IBS, right, the doctor threw me a word called FODMAP, which is very critical for any IBS patient, right? So
Yeah.
understanding FODMAP is very important, and that is where I started my research, understanding what is it FODMAP all about, what is high and what is low about it, right?
Yeah.
But one thing which did not tell me at that point in time is like it is a low food map or it is a high food map, that's fine. I mean, that you can get on the internet. But what importantly, which Pritha educated me over the journey was that Deepak, you need to have those low food map, but again, it has to be in a certain portion itself. That's the first and foremost learning I had as a part of that journey.
Yeah.
Second, she educated me about the gaps between the meals as well. Okay. So generally we used to have a breakfast, lunch, and all those things. But then I think she educated me, no, there has to be a certain amount of delay before you had the next meal. So it is only maybe 2 to 3 hours after that you need to have something that is going in to avoid some of the problems like bloating, gas, and all those things, right? So
Right.
my analysis research did not taught me all those things. But as soon as I started this journey, these were the 2 or 3 things which definitely helped me in changing my or improving the symptoms that I was looking at right now.
Okay. So, rightly said, when you talk about diet management or the lifestyle management, it's not just about the what food item you're eating. It also comes up with the portion size that you're eating, and of course, the time management between the meals. What, as a person, I will say when we have IBS, maybe a person has diarrhea, let's say, example. Okay. So, what we do, we try to eat less. We minimize our intake so that we don't get the flare up only. Okay. And this is how the whole routine gets messed up, and we face more and more issue then, because whenever the stomach is empty, you'll see there is more production of acid in your body, and hence acidity will be there. Of course, like bloating and other symptoms which comes up when you're empty, or maybe the time gap between the meals is more. So of course that creates a lot of issue, and then we're not able to understand what exactly we need to do. So rightly said, when you're under unsupervised supervision, let's say a nutritionist, of course she helps you, like Prita helped you throughout your journey to manage your symptoms, and you have rightly understood the main or the most important part, I would say, the portion size and the meal management part, which works wonders for everyone. So anything in specific that you have noticed, like what you were eating in more amount, let's say, okay, and now like Pritha has educated you for the same, so what is the difference, like maybe like any food item that you could figure out that you were maybe you researched about it and you were wrong about that food item.
Absolutely. Paneer. I was a diehard lover of paneer actually. And when I started the low FODMAP journey way back when I was diagnosed with IBS, I stopped eating paneer. I was not at all eating paneer. And when I had the Daily Bloom program and where Pritha actually guided me, and we figured out paneer is now no more having a problem with me right now. I mean, that is where I think that helped me a lot understanding those things, right? Because
Right.
internet will give you information. Yes, it gives the information, but with how much accurate that information is, how much correct it is, I mean, you have to still go through somebody's supervision and guidance. That's what Prita helped me a lot for that.
Yeah, exactly. We know that there are trigger foods, but the trigger foods are also unique to each person with IBS, which is the most important part to understand when you're facing different kind of flare-ups. Maybe we thought like you mentioned, paneer was an issue and you stopped eating then. And but throughout this journey, you learned about it. No, paneer is not an issue for you, and this is the particular amount that you can have for that particular food item, right? So, any other specific food items which were identified as triggered during the journey?
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of them. In fact, apple was one of them. I
Oh,
stopped eating apple. So we went through that exercise of elimination where we introduced the apple in maybe 75 grams first and then 96 grams and 120 grams. I was absolutely fine to consume apple. So apple was one of the fruit items which was quite okay for me. Another item I can say is the uh, maybe gluten, maybe the raw chapati. I had stopped eating chapatis, absolutely the wheat made chapatis. But yeah, I mean to certain extent, I was able to manage that also within this program.
oh, that's really great. Let's say, who have joined in here, like, I would really like to give this information. Like, what Deepak ji is trying to say in here is, like, maybe at a moment we thought this is the particular food item which is triggering us. Because when you're not aware about the certain food items, when we talk about low FODMAP and high FODMAP food items, so at times we get confused as well because the symptoms are continuous. Okay, and that's give us a idea, maybe everything is a trigger food for us only. So throughout this journey on Daily Bloom, how the nutritionist helps you is, first of all, you go through the elimination phase, or the first phase, that is the gut cleanse phase we talk about, in which the nutritionist guide you for the low FODMAP diet. So over there you can manage your symptoms, your gut is healed from inside, and then you move forward towards the next phase, that is the reintroduction phase. And over there, under the supervision of a nutritionist, you'll be able to reintroduce the food items. Rightly said by Deepak ji, like you have to introduce each and every food item, particular amount has to be included on particular day. So the nutritionist help you. Maybe let's talk about Paneer only. So on day one, a particular amount, the 60 gram is added to your diet routine, then 120 gram, and then 220 gram, which is the max amount of FODMAP. Okay, and according to this, day wise, we are able to figure out like what exactly is the problem. Maybe the food item is the only trigger for you, or maybe the amount you were having, that was the issue. So like even Deepak ji were able to identify that he can eat wheat, but up to an extent only. So this is why this whole journey of different phases, three phases, gut cleanse, reintroduction, and sustenance is important. You have to be regular. Of course, the consistency, the way of management, overall life management, lifestyle management is important. And greatly, like really, the efforts that you've put, Deepak ji, are really great. And we are so glad that you could find out about your favorite food items and the food items which you thought are trigger, but no, Prita helped you throughout the journey to figure it out what exactly amount was suitable to you. Also, when we talk about like food items, there comes a social life as well. So, how has like managing your IBS impacted your social life? Like, especially before and joining this program, do you see any particular change in that as well?
Absolutely. Before joining this program, I mean, I was absolutely, I would say, a person who was confined to the walls itself. I was not going out anywhere because I always had a fear that, oh, if I go out and I have a trigger at that point in time, how will manage that part, right?
Right.
But now I don't have that fear at least because one thing is this program has helped me in planning out the things properly. So I plan out the things, right? So I'm able to go out on the weekends. That was the first important difference I can notice. I mean, if you'll ask me from last 3 months or 2 months, I have gone every alternate weekends. I'm out right now. I was not at all going out. So that is a bigger change that has brought in me actually.
That's great. So like your social life is back again because you know exactly how you will manage. And rightly said by you, the planning helps a lot. When even as a nutritionist or a wellness coach or as a person normal who's dealing with IBS, we always tend to tell them like this is how you can manage your lifestyle and what this program is based on. The holistic approach when you're able to manage your dietary part, your mental health and your physical health, obviously you'll be able to manage the symptoms. And it's so good to hear that you're able to manage your social life as well. You're enjoying, you're going out, and like talking about your favorite foods other than paneer, anything else that you're including in diet routine and now you see like there's a good change and I'm not getting affected by it. Let's say maybe when we talk about the social life, there comes anxiety as well, right? So we talk about mental health part in specific, and managing stress is crucial when we talk about IBS. So how did your wellness coach Ria help you to manage all of this, specifically when you're working as well throughout the day? So how was it helpful for you?
So yeah, absolutely. There are the certain routines she had given to me actually, right? So uh, before the program itself, I was doing some kind of physical activities, definitely, right? Physical activities will definitely help you, but beyond that, there are certain things that you have to manage in today's world, especially, right? Because knowing there is a lot of stress around you, be it a professional, be it a personal, or any sort of, right? So there are a lot of stress that are revolving around you. So you have to manage them, right? So there are certain techniques she explained me, like the breathing techniques, the yogas, the certain physical activities, and the app itself has certain those things available as well. So you can go through that routine daily, plan out the things, and that okay, I will do this breathing exercise twice or thrice a day, and calm down myself and bring down that anxiety levels and stress levels completely. So she had given me those routines actually.
Yeah, exactly. Like a app is designed that way that a lot of resources are available then and there only. When we talk about, let's say, diet. So, of course, diet is one thing. Like telling a person that you have to eat this particular food item. Let's say maybe oats utpam. But then the app helps you to figure out what amount you have to eat. The ingredients and the recipes which are available on the app, that helps a lot because somewhere like maybe there's an issue, a person doesn't cook himself only, so he'll have to inform the cook like you have to take this much of portion. So the app is helping throughout to manage your portion size. This is one thing. And of course, like you mentioned, there are various resources or videos that are available well, that will help you to manage your mental wellness and physical wellness as well. Because yoga webinar, like yoga videos and every kind of resource is there, which helps a lot. Maybe you're not able to do it in the morning, but you'll be able to view it in the evening, and you'll obviously perform that. So of course that also helps. So, like on final note, Deepak ji, before we wrap up this session and we go towards the question answer round, could you share a few quick tips or insights for our audience today, especially for managing IBS? Like, what are the quick tips for them?
The first and foremost thing is, I would say, understand your body. Okay, it's very important. Each body is different. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever suits me may not suit others. Okay, so you understand your body. Second, follow the technique of like what I said at the beginning of this session, right? What to eat, when to eat, and how much to eat, basically. So this two things has to be done. Then the third thing is manage your lifestyle by doing certain yogas, physical activities, and bring down your stress. So focus on these three things. I think things will be better. And last important thing which I forgot, I think, is a planning. Plan the things for yourself. It's very important. Planning will help you successful in this program.
Right. Of course, like I agree on to this point. Like planning is one thing, because if you plan ahead the day, you know exactly what you're going to eat, what exactly you want to do, and you know how to manage it overall. And the moment we talk about the word management, it comes up with the symptoms management as well. So rightly said, we can manage our symptoms when we have a day, like a day of overall planned in terms of everything. So that's one thing. Talking about diet, the portion size, the food item that you're eating, and the meal timing. These three things, what you have mentioned today, will definitely benefit others as well, because these are the key pointers that we need to keep in mind while following the diet routine. And also, when we talk about diet routine, we also talk about water intake, which is one of the important criteria, or I would say a component that we have to include into our daily routine. Sometimes when a person says like, I don't feel like drinking water only, or if I drink too much of water, I feel very heavy. But in journal or as a nutritionist point of view, I would really like to suggest on this, like manage your water intake. It should be good enough as per your height and weight, so that your digestion can work accordingly, and also for the hydration part as well. In our program, like Deepak ji, like in your diet plan also, you would have seen like there are different decoction drinks that are added, early morning, evening tea, and everything is mentioned over there. So was there anything in specific that you followed, or that you were able to do it on regular basis that helped you to manage symptoms?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I started having this drink in the morning, which is especially the ginger, cumin, and the mint drink, basically. So that is something which I regularly have these days, which I was not doing, especially, right? So
Right.
my day starts with a warm glass of water, basically, and after that I have this drink, and then maybe a few nuts along with it, soaked overnight kind of thing. So that has become a daily routine for me now.
Hmm, that's really great. So we can see exactly how this program has helped you to manage your routine with context to your diet routine, your physical health and mental health as well. And we can see the efforts that you have put for yourself, for your body, for improvement, like obviously working wonders for you. So so good to hear that. Now let's take up the questions first, and then let's see how it goes. So, if any one of you who is here have any questions related to the IBS program or nutrition or the journey that Deepak ji has overall like managed so well, please drop your questions in the chat section and we'll be happy to answer that. While everyone is putting questions in the chat section, I'd really like to inform like every Saturday we have these webinars. It's different. Like sometimes the nutritionist is presenting, sometimes the wellness coach is presenting, and sometimes we have live webinar with our patients' experience overall. So do check every time, do join in at 5 p.m. every Saturday so that you can get benefit from that. Because the experience, the experienced person, when obviously it comes from them, that can help you a lot. In any case, you have any question related to any or related to this program or the diet part, do drop your questions in the chat section. So Deepakji, usually like this comes up as a question when we talk about dietary part in specific. Like will we like a person will be able to come up to the normal diet routine when we talk about the food items which we're not eating during the low FODMAP diet. So, like as a person who has IBS, obviously this comes up like will like do we have to be on the restricted diet forever, or do we like can we eat our favorite food items, or maybe we like when is the good time to include those food items? So what do you think according to your journey, like was it something way too much restrictive throughout the time for you to manage your diet routine, or like how was it for you?
Okay, so let me tell you one thing, Kirti.
Yeah.
When I started, before starting the program, right, I had uh, a, a test done on my knee uh, from my gastroenterologist, and the results were like I had deficiency in some of the nutrients and vitamins basically in my body, and the reason was I was restricting my diet because I was only following low food map because and when you're following that low food map, that means that you might not be able to get those nutrients which high food map is giving to you, right? So that was
Right.
one problem. So and one thing which my nutritionist Preeta told me that why to restrict yourself from certain diets which you can consume.
Right.
That helped me a lot in my thought process in that okay, yeah, that is correct that I should not restrict those diets. Let's identify that first. Let's identify and let's introduce those in your course basically. So that's how I'm now able to manage, and that's where I think I learned a lot of things that okay, I can have these things. So I have started including those in my diet. So restriction is no more there. Yes, there would be restrictions only for certain diets which are going to trigger you, and it's better to identify those beforehand so that you keep the stab of those things and that okay, this is the food item which is going to trigger me. I will eliminate those, but those which you like, why to eliminate? Identify those and include in your diets. So there is no restriction as such, I would say.
Very well said, Deepak ji. Even I agree as a nutritionist. Like, there comes a mentality when we talk about symptoms or IBS in specific. Like, people say the diet is too restrictive, or maybe like we won't be able to enjoy our favorite foods. So, the approach towards this program, or when you are under supervision, so of course, the approach has to be positive. Let me follow it, let me include it into the diet routine, and let me see how it works. Of course, like in your case, there were few items that you thought like these are the trigger foods and I won't be able to include into the diet routine. But like rightly said, and how you followed as per your nutritionist, you were able to identify that this is the particular amount that you can include. So I would suggest everyone in here, like be specific about what you are including into a diet, definitely. But then the point is we have to check if it is suitable for you or not. Don't make it a mentality that I cannot include this food item forever. The diet is not restrictive. It just if it's a trigger food for you, so of course please avoid it. Otherwise, it will cause you some other kind of symptom. Or else once you find out like this much portion size is suitable for you, you'll be able to include into your diet routine and you'll be able to enjoy your favorite foods. There are a few more questions. So, like one person has asked for almost 10, 12, I'm okay, but after 10 to 12 days, loose motions start again. What is happening? Please answer. So, can you specify in here, like, Are you including any kind of particular food item which is a trigger food for you? Or maybe like if you notice into your diet routine, the portion size could be an also issue. For example, when we talk about like trigger foods in specific, or the food items, maybe it's low in FODMAP only, but it can also cause you trigger as well, because sometimes even the low FODMAP food up to an extent is suitable for you and not more than that. For example, talking about tomatoes, so throughout this journey, when you join over there, there's specification in certain food items. The amount has to be specific. Even though you can include tomatoes into your diet routine, but not more than 80 grams per day. So for this, like please identify and please figure it out, like what all food items you're including and are they under the control, like the portion size is control or not. That we have to focus. Anything like you would like to like add on to this, Deepak ji?
Yes, I think what you said is correct. And the best to do is maintain diary. Maintain a diary. List down what you are having. Okay. And see the impact. I mean, after 10 days, if you identify, okay, I had this food in my previous bout itself, then eliminate it. That's how you should do it. So maintain a diary. Maintaining diary will definitely help you out. Identifying the food items that you ate for a day, maintain that in your diary itself.
Yes, like maintaining a diary or a food note or something like that. That specifically, like when we talk about this program, we have meal log option as well. So you have to mention exactly what you are eating. You have to log if you're eating as per the diet plan or not. And hence, the nutritionist can help you afterwards. Like maybe this food item, what you included, is right for you. You're not going as per the track. You have to reduce the amount, and that will definitely help you. Like you have said, like pineapple is something which you included into your diet routine. So I would really like to emphasize on one point. See, you can include pineapple into your diet routine, but then the portion size that you have included, that matters a lot. Even if you're drinking, let's say, pineapple juice, so be specific about the amount of pineapple that is added to your juice. So like the amount, it works like wonders for everyone. Maybe the food item is not an issue for you, the portion sizes, and sometimes it's the food only. Like for some people milk is suitable, for but for other people milk is not suitable. So we have to find out through your journey what exactly is causing you that issue, and then we'll be able to manage your diarrhea. I hope like this will be helpful for you to manage your symptoms. And like rightly said by Mr. Suresh, this program is holistic, of course. When we talk about holistic approach, it comes up with everything. Even the word lifestyle management, when we say that, comes up with everything. When we talk about mental health, physical health, and dietary part as well. And the wellness coach and the nutritionist helps you to manage overall throughout the program. So this is up. This is for. Thank you so much, everyone, for putting up the questions. And thank you so much, Deepak ji, for sharing your journey and your valuable insights with us. I can say your journey is truly inspiring. And I know our attendees has gained a lot from hearing about your overall experience throughout the program. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. Thank you, Deepak ji.
Thank you, Kirti. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Stay tuned for more